the question to people in Discord chat, and I said something along the lines of, have you ever had a crush and never acted on it and sometimes think, what if? So let's ask the question to you. Have you ever had a crush, never acted on it, and asked yourself, what if?
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't something. So obviously, when I got a little bit older, it didn't really matter as much to me. But I can remember, I still remember to this day, there is probably my first crush. So when I was in third or second grade, might have been one of those, third or second grade. No, it might have been fourth grade. So fourth grade, girl named Brianna.
Okay,
Brianna. So like I remember, I thought she was the most gorgeous thing I ever seen. I'm a little kid at this point, so I don't even think I like girls at all until maybe I saw this chick. But obviously, when you're that young, you're scared as fuck to talk to them. You don't know what to say. You've never liked anybody before, so you don't even know how you go about that. And we were friends and stuff too, so we played together every day. But I never like crossed over that threshold. So obviously, when I got a little bit older, like I would say middle school, I mean, a couple times it came up, and I'm like, I wonder what she's doing, where she's at, whatever. But obviously, there was no way to find that out. I had no fucking idea. But I think everybody probably has that, right? What's yours?
So yes, I do have that also. I have somebody who was in elementary school also, but I was in 5th grade. I remember his name. I remember scribbling my name with their name, thinking that my name was going to be his last name.
Oh shit.
So my last name would have been Vargas. And I would wrote Trisha Vargas on everything. I totally thought we were going to be together forever. Whatever a 5th grader thinks together forever is. And same thing. I don't know if it was because he was good at tetherball. I don't know if it's because he was just funny, but I was totally head over the hills for this person and never told him. And once
were you guys friends? Like, did you guys hang out?
Oh yeah, we played tetherball together, and I whooped his ass at tetherball. But I had this like moment for a while when Facebook first came out. I'd search his name and just like see like what he was doing, what he was up to, and he's happily married, has kids, like all of that. But I always question the what if I would have said something? What if I would have said like, hey, I kind of like you, and never did.
I mean, I can't even remember when I first started dating though. Like, do you?
Yes.
Mine was in middle school.
Me too.
I'm pretty sure, but I mean, I can't even like remember what I did, how I went about it. You know what I used to? Yeah, I do. You know what I used to do? So like when I started talking to the girl, if it was somebody that I had a crush on, I'd always play the role of like, you know, who do you like? Like, who do you like in our class or whatever? Just like try to find out the gist of that and like just get to know them that way. Be funny, you know, get some banter and stuff going. And then I don't know if it just like happened over time, but I feel like every time I did that, it would always come around to, well, I like you. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that was all planned that way, or maybe they did like me before I started talking to them. Maybe it was mutual, but that's happened to me probably a few times when I was a young kid, like in middle school.
Well, then it kind of imposes the question now as we're adults and we're dating, not you because you're happily married, but us that are in the dating pool. It kind of poses the question of when do you just tell somebody, I like you and I'd like to get to know you more? You know, when do we do that? When's the safe space to do that? Or do we does that not happen anymore? And do you just date and all of a sudden you're boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, where does that clear line stand where I like you and I want to be with you?
I think it always happens with the guy. So like the guy approaches the girl, they go on a date, they go see a movie, whatever. So like at that point they're dating, right? They probably exchanged phone numbers by now. But I think the serious part always comes from the woman. Like if we've been dating for a little while, there's always that, hey, what are we?
Yeah.
Like it's always like that too. I'm like,
why is it an eye roll? Why is it an eye roll?
What do you want us to be? Like, cause it's like, why are you guys always like looking like at the next checkpoint? Like, why are we always doing that? Why can't we just be like happy right here, right now. Like, why does it always, oh, what's the next move?
You know
what's
what
the
it
next
is?
step?
I'll tell you what it is. So with
What?
women, we just like clarification. We like clarification if what we're because I'm not going to do girlfriend things. I'm not going to do wifey things if we're not like going that route. So if you're not seeing us as long term, then why am I going to be that way with you is how I think about it. So when I ask for clarifications, it's because I want to devote myself fully to you and I want to make sure you're also doing that with me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but so what's the and again, I'm just asking the question broadly because I believe if you like somebody, fucking say it. But so when's the proper time to do that? Like you just said, what's the proper time to do that? Like, is there such a thing as too early for something like that?
Yes, I do think there's a time where it's too early. And this poses like another question, segues into how do you date? When you're dating somebody and you want a relationship, don't go into a relationship just because you want a relationship. You might not even like the person that you're talking to. Truly, when you dissect it, you might not like the way that they communicate with you. You might not like the way that their love languages are. You might not like the way that they even, doing the deed. That might not be 100% up to what you're looking for. So don't get confused off of you want a relationship versus I want a relationship with this person. Would you agree with that? That some people just get in a relationship because they don't want to be alone?
I think I think that's very common for one side.
Yes.
I don't think that, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like, that's why you said why the eye roll, because there hasn't been one situation for me where I was like, hey, you know what? When are we like, when are we making this a thing? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. It's just like...
You didn't do that with Jenna? You weren't like, hey, Jenna, like, I want to be with you. Like, we're together.
No, she did it.
And did you roll your eyes or were you like, fuck yeah?
No, because I wanted to. So, again, like, you're going to find out. You're going to find out,
sure,
like, if they're serious or not, right? If they hesitate, if they stumble, if they don't give you an answer, like, they're not that interested. But if they're right away, it's a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Then you got the answer that you wanted. So it's a good way to feel them out. So yeah, there is a such thing as a too early thing. Mm-hmm. But, like I had a couple situations where one of them started to say, this is fucking weird. It just makes me feel weird. So we're dating. Like we weren't even like officially together. And I remember she had told me, I don't know why she told me this, but she had told me that before she would go to sleep, like laying next to me, she would say, like, I guess under her breath, I love you. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, we're not even, we're not even together. And she's already like,
I love you. Yeah.
And yeah, that turned me off. Sure, that did.
Okay.
But again, if I liked her enough, it wouldn't matter. But I didn't. Even in that moment, even before she told me that, I didn't like her enough, but I was seeing where it goes. But I think very seldomly would, if a man is in the I'm gonna see where it goes, I don't think it ever goes past that.
Where you want it, yeah. So my ex told me he loved me after a week of dating. And he didn't even vocalize the I love you. He had we were in my bedroom, like just talking, hanging out, because I had lived with my sister at the time. So like we just wanted to be alone. And he goes, I'm gonna pull something up on your computer and I just need you to listen to it. This is actually one of the most romantic things that's ever happened to me, but when I look back at it, not in the moment. And I was like, okay. And so he pulled up iTunes, because this is before Spotify, and he queued up a song and he walked out of the room. He's like, just listen to it. And he walks out of the room. And the title of the song is I Think I'm in Love by Beck. And so I play it and the chorus is I think I'm in love, but it makes me kind of nervous to say so. So I walked out and I said, so is this you telling me that you love me? And he was like, I am in love with you. And I didn't tell him I loved him until a year after that. Because yeah, because I didn't know. I didn't know like if I wanted to be in a relationship or anything. And like see, like you see how that, but see, like how's that like, so a guy,
if they're in that phase, it's very hard. So you believe that you can grow in love with someone?
Yes, I do think that you can grow in love with someone. I've shared this. When I first met him, I was not fully attracted to him. I didn't find him someone that I thought was like sexy or anything like that. What drew me to him is he was extremely confident. I loved the confidence, and it wasn't arrogance, it was confidence. But he was such a big storyteller. Like, oh, I played pro on, in college, and I could have I played in the Little League World Series, and all of these like big stories that I was like, this guy's a fucking liar. I thought he was a liar. And it wasn't until I met his parents a year later where they're like, oh no, we can show you the clips, we can show you the videos, we can show you the newspaper articles. Like he was something. He could have gone pro. And so then I realized, okay, maybe he's not a liar. And so that's really what pushed me away from not giving him a full honest shot. Is in my mind, I convinced myself that he was a liar.
So why'd you stay in it during that?
He was very persistent. He was very persistent. Like I literally one time threw him out of my apartment. Was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to, verbatim, I don't want a boyfriend. And he's like, are you telling me to leave? And I was like, yes, you need to leave. And then he left. And not even 30 minutes later, he's calling me. He's like, I love you. Please. We can go slower. I'm like, okay, we can go slower. And so
that worked?
It did, because he was so persistent. He was so persistent in dating me. I
find that interesting, because my stance on that would be, if you got to beg your way into something, man, you shouldn't be there.
I mean, we're happily married now. I mean, obviously not. It didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was other red flags, but he was very, very persistent. Change the number. Yeah. I can't say that now because I have my beautiful son, but if I didn't have my son, yeah, I would have changed my phone number. But I mean, again, he was persistent and I just let it happen. But I did want to, so as far as the what if question that I asked, I did get some responses and I want to share them with you because I'm curious to know what you think off of these. So let me pull up my Discord here. So I asked the question in my Discord to the members that we have in there. I said, who has ever had a crush and never acted on it and sometimes thinks, what if? And it was kind of interesting, the responses that I got. One of the responses was, I think about it a lot. I was just way out of her league, and she had complications that I didn't want to be mixed up in. And I said, that's an interesting one, because you still think about her. So I asked, and you still think about her often? Why? And they explained, yes, she's still one of my best friends since junior high. She's just been going through depression and just now talking to a therapist. I'm sorry, I burped. She's taken her on dates, and the last one I tried to make it official, but she left me a text saying she'd rather be friends and fix herself first, but she left me a promise that she would date me after she learned to love herself. I'm not taking the promise. I waited and asked for 5 years. Now I'd rather be happy with my friends and family instead of kind of forced relationship. So that was interesting to me because he thinks about her often. He obviously wanted a relationship with her, but he went into it feeling like he was out of her league. What do you say about that?
I mean, even before you finished it, that he was saying that he's gonna wait and all that stuff, that he wasn't gonna and then he said, I was like, oh, that didn't go anywhere. And then you started to read, okay, after 5 years he decided to move on. That's called being let go softly, being let down softly. I don't know why he did that at all. She wasn't interested, obviously. Yeah. I mean, otherwise she would have been there. When you said, I want to work, I don't want to be in anything right now, I want to work on myself, I rolled my eyes. I mean, that's like a clear scapegoat. If they like you enough, that shit don't matter. It doesn't. None of that stuff matters.
It is true, because you can meet somebody who is going through some sort of depression or going through, some financial troubles or whatever it could be. And there are people who are like, fuck that. I don't want to deal with that. Goodbye. But there are people that care and go, that's not going to scare me away. I still want to get to know you. I want to get to know you. I want to support you, and I want to be there for you. So there are people out there that are willing to help us through those traumas that we're working through. And there's people that are not. There's people that'll judge you and make you feel like shit about it. This man was obviously willing to be there for her, and she just wasn't having it. So I feel bad that he has the what ifs for her, but it sounds like it's her loss.
She would have. She would have if he was the one, but he wasn't good enough for her. Like I don't mean to put it that way. I don't mean it in the wrong way, but that wasn't the guy for her. That's what she decided. So like. Period. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, if she was the right guy, then she would have been all about it. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. I do agree with that. If she was just keeping him around as an option versus being with him, because
people do that all the time.
They do.
People do that all the time because I'd rather have company than be alone sometimes, right? I mean, that's a lot of people say that stuff. So, yeah, like I enjoy this person's company. I don't see them in that way, but that's where, like we say, there's no such thing as platonic friends because an attraction brought people together. Like that's just what I wholly believe. I'll talk about opposite sex. Opposite sex wise, there has to be like some kind of conversation to join them, and it's usually an attraction from one side or the other, or maybe both. Now it could be to where nothing happens because one decides, hey, that's not my cup of tea, but that's how it started. 1000%.
I had gotten another response that said, what if I had just listened to my heart and stayed rather than my brain saying I got to experience high school with girls, alcohol, parties, etc. I'm happy where I'm at, don't get me wrong, but there's definitely times that I think, what if?
I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this person I know is happily married. Like they're happy. Like they wouldn't change their life for anything. But it just goes to show you that even if you're in a relationship, you get to this point where you want to water other grass versus watering your own. Does that make sense? Not saying that this person cheated or anything like that, but they obviously felt like they weren't being fulfilled with that person, so they left. They experienced life and they met their wife and had kids and all of that, but they still have this hanging over their head of what if.
But see, I still believe that like if you weren't there in that moment, you're not going to get there. So like, yeah, you probably liked her a lot, so there's probably some things that she was for him that his current person probably isn't, and he misses those things. But even when he had them, they weren't enough to keep him. And that's still going to be the case, even if he put himself back in that position. And a woman, too. Like, you can't. We just miss the things that we don't have anymore. Like, I've talked about stuff like, I've talked about some of the past girls in my, like, I know that they would have been good for me in very specific reasons, in reasons that I didn't have in future relationships moving forward. And I think about that, but that wasn't good enough to keep me there then, and it's not good enough to keep me there now. Now, I wish I had maybe some of that with some of my relationships after that, but that's just not the way it works, man. We're all in this fucking stock market deal of trying to find the best deal that we can, somebody that checks as many marks as we got, but you just can't get it all. Like, you can't get it all.
Yeah. And I had shared, like, when I had my high school sweetheart that I had, that I, would message every now and then. Do I think sometimes, like, how my life would have been with him if I would have stayed with him versus, us breaking up because we were so young? I do think about that. I don't think about it as often as I used to, but I used to think a lot, like, how different would my life would have been if I would have married my high school sweetheart. Yeah, I think about that.
How mad would you be though? Like if you were on the other end of this, like you're with somebody and they think this about someone else, like I'd be pretty upset. I wouldn't like it.
Oh yeah, and I actually was going to ask you that question, and here's the question that I'm going to impose. So what if you're dating somebody new, and you realize as you're dating somebody new that you're still in love with your ex? You miss your ex. and you're not sure if you want to continue in the relationship that you're in right now?
I mean, you got to get out. I'm leaving. If for some reason I'm still like thinking about someone else, that has happened to me one time. One time in my life. I mean, I was in high school and I wasn't with someone else. We ended it and I was like, fuck, man, I can't stop thinking about this chick. It's like literally every fucking day. And I'm just like, oh, this is fucking annoying. So it's like at the time, you know, you're young. I don't really understand why, but I was like, man, fuck, I gotta get her back. So I did get her back. But again, it fucking ended because it wasn't good enough still. So
how long did you guys date for?
Maybe so like it was briefly, and then we separated, and then I got her back, and then we separated before college because I said, hey, listen, you go do your thing, I'm gonna go do my thing, and then that was it. So we weren't together again after that.
Do you think that exes can be friends after they break up?
Sure. So like, again, so it falls into that equation, right? The initial contact of them joining had to happen from either a prior engagement or experience or an attraction. Once that is done, sure, like they can be friends moving forward. Yeah, but you know, I would still be worried in some case of like, is there still an attraction there? Oh, because obviously like when they break up, it's not like they dislike everything about that person, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's still something that we like, whether it's 10%, 20%, or 30%. And I wouldn't appreciate that. So like, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't let my girl be friends with their ex, just like I'm not friends with my exes. Mm-hmm. Like I don't talk to them. Yeah. But can there be friendship after that? Yes, but there has to be that getting over the hump thing, mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Otherwise, if that hump thing hasn't happened yet, then it's waiting to happen.
The door's still open.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to have this saying I said high school, that's bad. Now you guys are going to think I'm bad.
Oh no.
Once a man, okay, this is going to be bad. I can't wait to see what the women say about this one. Oh my God. Oh, let's do a TikTok. Let's do a TikTok.
I'm here.
All right. Once a man takes the V card, he always has keys to that gate. That's what you got to worry about.
Mine doesn't. Mine does not. No, he does not. I'm good. I'm good. Not
like far into your life. So like, let's say in high school, right? So I would say that would probably carry on probably into like college and all that stuff. Like I've seen a lot of situations where that has applied.
Not with me.
I'm not saying.
Get out. No.
So hold on. So your V card guy.
Yeah.
Never went back to him?
No, but he tried coming back to me.
He tried coming back to you. So it was a one and done. That was it.
No, we dated. We dated.
You dated.
And then we broke up. And then when I was a senior in high school, I had already moved. I was in a whole other city. I didn't have a cell phone. We had a home phone. I don't know how he found my home phone number. Probably from somebody that I was still friends with when we were friends. But I get a call. His name was Johnny. I get a call. And he was like, hey, yo, Trish, it's Johnny. I'll never forget this man's voice. And I was like, Johnny? I don't know a Johnny. And then he said his last name. And I was like, had that moment. I'm like, how did you find my number? And I don't remember what he said. And he was like, I just, I haven't talked to you in a while and just wanted to see how you were doing. I know that you're living up, in Northern California now. And I'm just like, no. No, you thought about it. No, I swear to God, I did not think about it because he was at the gate with that card and that card reader and was about to. No, he has the card. He has the card, but it is a no access denied. It expired. It is done. It is done.
Oh shit.
We do have a question in chat that says, "What if the man has tattoos of other grown men on his body?"
Sounds like a fucking G to me.
Another question in chat. So what's your opinion on this? Me and my girl went to prom and enjoyed it. We kind of felt like it wasn't right at the moment. We enjoyed it, but it didn't feel right. Then after we took a break for a summer and we started to talk and are back together. Sounds like you figured it out.
Yeah, what about it? Is that right?
I think that they might be a little uneasy with their choice. That's why they asked that question. But it sounds
to be back with them.
Yeah, that sounds exactly what happens in high school. Honestly, I'm assuming you're still in high school, but that sounds like a high school relationship right there. You break up and you get back together. That's what that sounds like to me. But okay, let's go into some dating tips. Have you ever heard about the triangle method?
I mean, break it down. I don't know. Like, it's just like what you were saying about the attachment stuff. Yeah. I remember avoidant, but I don't remember titles.
We were done
and all
with
that stuff.
So,
but like this right here, triangle. Just tell me what it is, and then I'll probably know what you're talking about.
The triangle method is something that a woman can do to basically signal to the man that they're interested, whether they want to
Can't wait
kiss
to hear
them
this
or whatever. I swear to God, you're gonna make me do it. So this is what no, it's not a pyramid scheme. So the triangle method is when a woman is looking at you in the eyes, and as you're talking intently, and she's looking you in the eyes, she slowly looks down at your mouth and then slowly looks back up. It's called the triangle method. So it's letting them know you're interested. You want it to go further. You want to kiss. Like you're watching their mouth.
I mean, probably. I mean, that's probably accurate, but that doesn't does that. So what is this? What is this? How to hint to a man that you're ready for the dang?
No, that you would like to move from talking to kissing and then move to the other thing. It's called, it is literally called the triangle method. That's what it's called.
But it's a straight line. You said,
no.
You're talking about two eyes and then like that, right?
Yes. It's called.
So an upside down triangle.
Yeah, it's called a triangle method.
I don't fucking know.
So
I mean,
we have people saying they've never heard of this, so it's literally a known thing.
I seriously haven't heard of it. I agree with them. I think Trish maybe made this up.
Yeah, I made it up.
Because what we say is, this is what all of us men say. You guys get behind me, Timbo, B-Mac. I got all you guys thick. If you allow me to get your phone number, I know you're ready to fuck.
Oh my God.
Am I right, boys? Am I fucking right? Timbo said 100. We already know. We don't need the triangle shit. When we get to that point, we're not even watching where your eyes go. You get what I'm saying? We're not worried about that shit.
You might think. We have a he's right ... So
everybody's saying it.
No, but
yeah.
If I give you so I do have a Snapchat. I know, gross, but the reason why I have one is because I had an experience where I was talking to somebody on a dating app and I gave him my phone number and he was being extremely inappropriate and weird. So I blocked him. And then he started going to this app where you can make fake numbers, and he kept texting me from all these random numbers. So I said, from that moment on, I'm never giving my phone number out again. While I'm dating, I'm going to give out a Snapchat. That's why I use it. And so I have a Snap. That's what I give out initially. If I like you, I give you my phone number. That's
You know what that says though? When you give me your Snap, guess what that says?
Oh, I want to fuck. Is that what it says?
It says you like dick pics.
Oh my God.
Chat. The guys are in the chat. What does that mean when she sends a no trail, no cookie, no crumbs left behind Snapchat? That absolutely means D-pics.
We have show me your genitals. Duh. Okay, great. Sure. Then you're getting blocked. Chi-chi pics. Great. I love it. You guys are fucking ridiculous.
That's what it is though. You're literally, you know what you're doing? You're doing what all women do. You're sending false signals.
Oh,
false signals. Yeah, and you send false signals and then you're mad when you get a D-pic.
I'm not mad when
That's interesting.
I could make beautiful.
You said you don't like them.
I could make beautiful wallpaper with all the unsolicited dick pics that I've received in my lifetime.
Well, I used to wonder how you're just getting. So I seriously, when you told me that, I was like, no one just sends random D pics. No one does that. Well, they do if you're handing out Snapchats. Yes, they do. So literally, you were saying, hey, here's my Snapchat. All right.
That is not what I'm saying if I give you my Snapchat.
Yeah, it is. Most
not what
normal
I'm
people,
saying.
if you give out your phone number, they're not sending that.
B-Mac said he made wallpaper with his. I'm very happy for you, B-Mac. Good job. So anyways, the triangle method is a thing. It's a literal thing. And it's basically saying that for a woman to give a signal to a man that they want to like kiss or eventually like, you know, go do the deed. You'd ever like look at a girl's mouth while they're talking because you can't like you want to kiss them? You don't do that?
So I'm going to pull this quote from the chat. Someone said, and I quote, "How can I see their eyes when I'm looking at melons?"
See ya.
that was scary. But so I'm gonna be honest. Like, so this is the first time I heard this.
Okay.
And then when I'm thinking about all the girls, like I can't remember no one like looking at my lips and shit. I mean, I can remember like girls checking me out, like that's it. But like looking at my lips, I just don't think girls know that.
Okay, if one of the mods in Twitch can start this poll in chat, do men notice when women are looking at your lips? I'm curious to see if if anyone picks up on that cue. If someone can please start that poll,
I don't think women do that though. Please tell me if you're also women in here. Please tell me if you do that. I've never. So it's either one or two things. They don't actually do that, or two, we just don't pay attention at all.
So all the men are saying no. Women. Next question is to you. Do you look at a man's mouth, lips, when you want to kiss them?
They said ain't nobody looking at lips.
All the women are saying yes. All the women are saying yes.
Then we don't see it because our eyes are somewhere else, I guess.
So women, they don't give a fuck. We know nothing about men whatsoever.
I mean, apparently, because that's not working on us. Like, that doesn't work on us, I guess. Like, because we already know we're in there. You gave me your number. It's just, I just got to make sure I don't fuck it up. I see the finish line. I just have a mile to go. Just don't trip over a rock on the way. That's it. But if you gave me your number, I already know I'm in like sin. So we don't need IQs to the lips and all that stuff.
Men looking at tits, women looking at zipper bulge. I've never looked at a zipper bulge in my life.
No, apparently we got it wrong, guys. It's men are looking at melons, women are looking at lips.
We're looking at lips.
We miss it. We miss it the whole time, I guess. I'm like, lips.
So women, very rarely is a woman looking at a man like that they're dating or in the dating and going, I want to sleep with this person. We're looking at chemistry. And the first way that we can tell if we have chemistry with you is conversation. And after the conversation, it's kissing. So it's mouth, your mouth 100%. So before you could even get there, that's what we're paying attention to.
Is that true?
That is 100% true.
Is that true? Because I feel like you guys, no, I feel like right before you hand us the phone number, you're already deciding, do I think I can he can see my child? Will I be able to have him see my child in the future?
No.
Whether or not you would have sex with them and whether or not you would marry them. You already know these three things before you guys even give the phone number to us.
No, because women are also think like this when it comes to dating. There are men that we have that we know, like I'll give you this, that we know it's just a sexual thing. I'm sexually attracted to this person and it's going to be a good time. And then there's another category of that type of men. Can I have this man around my children? Do I want to have children with this man? Can I have a conversation with this man? We're looking at those things. So if a woman is having a conversation with you and wants to go on a date with you, it's not because she wants to fuck around with you. It's because she's trying to see if she wants you in her life. So if you're not looking for that, if you're not looking to be, in a woman's life for a long term or for a while, I would say don't even offer a fucking date because we're thinking that we're on the same page. We're thinking that we're both looking for somebody to date. Unless you say in the beginning, nah, we're just fucking around. I've done that with men that I've talked to where I knew that they were. Well,
you can do that.
Yeah.
You're a woman.
Yeah, we've already established that. It's easier. We've already established that.
We can't do that.
Men can't do that.
Nope.
I beg to differ.
We can't do that.
So
we'll lose more than we win. We'll lose 80%, 85 maybe.
So my sister, who is absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful, okay? She is on dating apps right now, and she met this man. He's an aerospace engineer. She met this man in San Francisco, and they on dating apps, and they were going to meet up. So I was like, oh, he's an aerospace engineer. Like, that's interesting. She goes, nope, don't get your hopes up. It's just a hookup. And I said, what do you mean it's just a hookup? She goes, that's all it is. Like, it's nothing more. It's not like, that's what we're doing. And I was like, okay, you do you. So she didn't go. And I was like, why didn't you go? And she goes, he never texted me back. And I said, you know what that means, right? She goes, yeah, he matched with somebody closer that could come sooner. And I said, okay, as long as you know what that means. So women and men both have this conversation of, this is what we're doing. There's nothing more, nothing less.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if it's a mutual thing right out the gate, those people are going to find each other, just like walking through a grocery store with upside down pineapple, whatever. Like, you're going to find each other. So I'm talking about if there's a woman at a bar and I try to go talk to her, and if I lead with that, I'm going to fail more than I succeed, whereas women would succeed way more than they would fail in a normal situation, normal dating situation.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I mean, yeah, I do agree with you on that. We do have a question in TikTok. Question is, if a man gives you a 3-word reply constantly, seems like we're keeping track of that, says he wants a relationship, what does that mean?
Says he wants a relationship?
Yeah, but he's only 3-word replying her constantly. So I guess what she's trying to say is, like, it's not really a conversation that they're having. He's just responding very short.
Well, I don't know. Like, so I'm kind of torn on this. So, like, if someone's asking me, so she's asking me, do I want to be in a relationship? Yes, I do. That's what I'm saying. She keeps asking me, and I say, yes, I do. She keeps wanting to have a conversation. Yes, I do. Men are fucking very frank. Mm-hmm. So, like, I say what I mean, and I do what I say. So I'd almost be the same way. If I made it very clear, why do I need to have a conversation about this? I said, yes, I do. Like, I'm clear, cut and dry. I feel like we're a little bit more black and white than like women are. Like, you guys are like a lot of gray area. You like that shit. You want to fucking dabble in conversation. We want to make a decision. Oh, I'm not hungry, but you want some of my food. Mm-hmm. Or what do you want to eat? Oh, I don't care. All right, let's go to Chili's. Nah, I don't like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're very different.
Dinner talk. What are we having for dinner?
We're very different.
I think women are more overthinkers than men are. Like, we overthink situations and we visit Fantasyland, Imagination Town, way more than men do. Because what women do when they meet somebody that they could hold a conversation with, they're immediately thinking of, oh, he can hold a conversation with my parents. Oh, he can hold a conversation with my friends. He's funny. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have the greatest time together. We're gonna have the best life together. And they start imagining these scenarios of how life is going to be with this person that you know nothing about. And we make up this man in our mind. So when the man falls short and isn't like the version that you made up in your mind, then we're not satisfied. Women are overthinkers 100%.
I mean, there's nothing to add to that.
It's true.
There's nothing to add to that. I mean, I already thought that anyways. That's good.
He's like, finally, got him.
We don't overthink stuff, man. We just do. We
don't
overthink. We just do.
Give chat a dating tip. So for men. A man meets a woman and he likes her. He wants to date her, but he's nervous. He's been hurt before. He's older, mature, settled, but doesn't know how to pursue it.
So we're talking about, that's a whole different situation though. We're talking about, like, obviously we already know each other. I want to take it to the next level. Like, that's a whole different situation. I think it's more like in a social situation where you're coming up on somebody that you haven't met, haven't talked to before, and having to approach that situation. I think that's way more.
Let's do that one.
So, like, the goal in that situation right there, like you don't even have to be confident, but you got to be somewhat of an actor. If you're not confident because you're an introvert naturally, you're not an extrovert, and maybe you're in a situation where you don't typically find yourself. You're at a bar or fucking somewhere out because you're with your friends, and then you notice a girl off to the left. What do you do to get in that situation? It's tough. Obviously, you got to assess it, make sure they're not with anybody, and then how do you approach them without being fucking creepy? You got to make it about something that has nothing to do with her or you. Make it about someone else. Make it just kind of like a comment that's on aloof or whatever, because the goal always has to be, how can I get this girl to talk to me? Mm-hmm. Not how do I get this girl to like me. If you change the perspective, it's going to change it's going to change how you act. Like if I'm trying to get her to like me, that's a whole different approach than I'm just trying to get her to talk to me. Very non-intrusive, non-threatening. Whereas if I'm coming in there and I come in a little too hot and the brakes ain't working, then I look like a creep. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Now I look like I got real motive. Whereas if I'm talking about something that has nothing to do with me or her, just to like bring some levity to the situation or be funny in a quick moment, right? Mm-hmm. If I could get you to smile, then I feel like I got a chance.
I would agree with you. If a man is approaching a woman and TikTok says it's Trish single, no, leave me alone. No, don't give out my Snapchat. I swear to God, I'll murder somebody. So when you're talking to somebody, if you can someone's talking to me, and if you can make me laugh, I already like you, because it is so hard to get somebody out of like their own shell of like, when a woman's going into a grocery store, most oftentimes we're going to the grocery store looking like bummy as fuck and just trying to get what we're getting there. And so we're not thinking about the conversations that we're going to have in the grocery store. We're thinking of, don't forget the Pop-Tarts, make sure you grab the milk. And so if a man talks to me in a grocery store, I'm already kind of standoffish because I'm like, I got things to do. So if somebody like somehow incorporated a joke while we were in the grocery store, or I'm standing in the deli line or whatever, it's going to open the door for me to have a conversation with you because you're being funny. Now, if somebody approached me in the grocery store out of nowhere, no context, and said, "You're really beautiful, can I have your number?" I honestly can't tell you how I would respond to that. I can't tell you if I would be like, "Hell yeah," or like, no, I don't know.
Because you don't. It's such a like abrasive approach. So now you feel pressure immediately. Whereas if I come into it and I'm just like something on aloof that has nothing to do with you and I that we can both focus on, then it's a lot more comfortable, right? We're engaging into this like external situation that brings no pressure to her, no judgment, right? So like I made it about something else. That always needs to be the situation. Like for instance, a really good one, like if you're at a bar and I fucking see somebody, I run over there or not run over there, but I get over there and I'm just like acting like whatever. I grab a menu. I'm like, excuse me, what drink is this right here? Like I've never been here. Like I have no idea what
Small
to get.
talk.
What is this? Yeah. And then I promise, I swear to God, as soon as she responds, I'm in there.
So I've actually done that in a grocery store to a man. I was in the liquor aisle and it was all beers, and I didn't know. Well, I do know what beers I like. I know what I'm gonna buy. But I'll like, if I see somebody grabbing for something or they're looking, I'm like, I haven't tried that. Is that any good? Like I start a conversation. I enter in, and sometimes it's friendly banter, getting to know each other, and it gives me enough time to see like, is there a ring? Is he with anybody? Like all of those things. And like this is another thing. I have no problem, never ever have had a problem asking a man for his number or telling a man that I like you. Never. My issue is that I don't want to come off too brash. Like if I'm just too open with how like I want to get to know you and I like you, there's really like no mystery with me. I just let you know. So sometimes I feel like I come across too aggressive and not I don't let the man kind of pursue me because I'm being so aggressively pursuing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I mean, it just sounds like the same thing that I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and it's the same method. You made something external, not a part of it, and then in that moment, you could, like what you said, you can see if they're married. But like even for us, we're going to be able to assess right now. Like if you're smiling back at me, I can tell that okay, you're at least initially interested in. Oh, he's kind of entertaining or interesting. I'm willing to see where the next 5 minutes go, right?
Yeah.
So after that is like during that time is where you can see where it can go or not, right? So at some point you got to go in and start closing in the deal and like letting them know you're interested. But there's ways to do that as well. I'm sure we'll have a little bit of time to talk about that too. But I just think that's the best way to do it, man. You don't come off on a creep, and if you can. So how do you do that though, right? If you don't have any self-confidence, how the fuck you do that?
Yeah, I think I like, for me, like I'm confident in who I am, and I'm confident in the way that I speak. So like I could pick up on a social cue if somebody's looking at me and is like, no, get away from me. Then I'm like, cool, thanks. Like leave, because in no way do I have this mentality of like everybody like wants me. No, I'm a certain person's cup of tea and not everybody's drink of choice. Like I'm fully aware of that. So I look for those social cues, body, like, you know, like the way they move, facial expressions. And if I see that they're not feeling it, the conversation, I just excuse myself. No problem. No skin off my back. I'm good to go. But if there's somebody who is nervous to even approach those things, I don't even know where I would start with that. Like what would we say? Would we say,
let's see, like, you know, how does a guy that is nervous about talking to girls, how do they fucking overcome that stuff though? Like, I don't know what you would do if you recognize somebody that wasn't confident, but like, how does this non-confident guy get around being scared to talk to somebody?
Well, I think that's why dating apps are so big with a lot of people, because they're not really, they're talking, but it's not like you and I are talking. Like even you and I are talking. We're in completely different states having this conversation. But it's not like we're in the same room talking to each other. You know what I mean? So I would say in that aspect, how does a man work up the confidence to talk to a woman? I would say look at the latter. What's going to happen if you don't talk to the woman? The last thing you want to do is live your life in the what if I would have talked to that woman. So wherever you got to pull it from, deep in the depths of your gut and soul, start up a simple conversation of, hey, I'm looking for the bread aisle. Can you point me in the right direction? It's a simple question. And then you can see if there's going to be an interaction.
So like B-Mac said, what I was about to just say, he said, always shoot your shot. So like I take on the Babe Ruth approach for dating. Like I'm going to swing at every pitch, but I'm swinging for home runs. So I'm going to strike out a lot and I'm going to get out a lot. So I think even if you don't have confidence, you're going to gain confidence the more experience that you get. But you need to go into these situations. You see somebody you're interested in, do those steps to like initiate conversation, let conversation be the goal, and then figure out the next 5 minutes after that. But like, it's not really being an actor, but it's not giving a fuck if you strike out. Like what does it matter? If she's not interested, who cares? Like she says no, she doesn't entertain the conversation. She doesn't even know your name at this point. So there's no embarrassment on you.
None.
You're probably never going to see her again. And it doesn't matter who she tells, because the person that she tells doesn't know who the fuck you are. There's nobody looking through a crystal ball down onto your life, like looking at you failing at talking to women and laughing at you. That's not happening in reality. So that like when you adjust your mindset to that, then that should be like, oh yeah, you're right. You know, I shouldn't give myself so much pressure. And once you do that, man, then it's just fun, man. And then like you can start bringing wingmen. Like wingmen are the best. Like if you could find a good one. Like I'm gonna tell you a really good one. So like if me and one of my boys are sitting there and there's like a table full of girls over there, and then we want to bring them into the conversation. We don't really know which one we're going to talk to. Yeah. But we're going to find out after we bring them into the conversation. But like, I'll be talking to him, and then we will act like we're getting louder, like maybe going back and forth or arguing. and then he will, guys, look. Guys, can I ask you something really quick? Like, tell me if I'm,
that's
you
actually
know what
smart.
I'm saying?
That's actually really
So,
smart.
like,
Yeah.
So then maybe one of the girls will step up, and then I will come in and be like, nah, don't even. Like, there's no way I'm agreeing with you. And then one of her friends will start backing her up, and then I'll start going at her. And then during this process, me and him are feeling out who we are getting better banter from.
That's interesting because I actually had a situation like this where I had gone out to a...
And you didn't even know it was happening, did you, Trish?
No, I didn't, but it's funny. So
let's go, man. Let's go. That's what we do.
I had gone out to a club with a friend of mine. She had just like broke up with her boyfriend. And we went out and she was a very, very big chested woman. I mean, like mommy milkers, like huge.
Yeah.
And she was
nice.
And she was wearing a very low cut tank top. Like the only thing covered was the nips. Okay. And I've always been very conservative. Very rarely do I wear low cut shirts ever. I just don't. It's not my thing. And so we went to the club and I look like, you know, I'm going to church, and she's like just letting it all hang out. And so we go into the club and these guys come over and they are all over her, like all over her. And I'm like, do your thing. And she's drunk, and I sober up. I'm going to be DD now. And we all decide to go get something to eat. And she is so sloshed out of her mind. She can't even sit up in the stall. She's literally popping out of her shirt. None of these guys have paid any attention to me the whole night. They've all been looking at her. So we go to the restaurant and we're sitting there, and I'm fucking ordering onion rings. I don't even care. And we're sitting there and I'm eating, and she's like passed out in the stall, and you could tell they're like irritated. And one of the guys goes, "So what do you do?" And so I tell him what I do. I just, and I start like, you know, naming off these things. He goes, "Oh, you're pretty successful." And I said, "Yeah, I am. I'm very successful." And then he starts asking me questions about my career, and we're having this whole back and forth conversation. And then he was like, "You're really cool." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. I appreciate it." He goes, "Can I get your number?" And I was like, "No, motherfucker. You haven't paid me any attention all night. You've been paying her attention. And then the moment you have a conversation with me, you're like, oh, the one that looks like she's going to fucking, you know, work on a farm actually has some brains." But nah, I didn't give him my number. I was like, "No, I have a boyfriend. Sorry." But I didn't. But
you would have if he was good looking enough.
No, he was very good looking. He was very good looking, but he wasn't into me. He was into my friend.
No, he was just filling out the situation.
Whatever.
He was. I mean, that's what it is. But again, like even in those situations, like where you're bringing in that when the wingman is doing that, he's making it about something that has nothing to do with me or him, or making it about this external thing that's bringing these people together to have a conversation. So, I mean, I know that for some people that's going to sound really simple.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you never thought about it that way. And it's what you need to do. It really is.
It is. We do have a question from TikTok. Question for House. Without using dating apps, how do you get over/rid of a longtime ex?
How do you get rid of them?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't want to use... So the dating app thing is because you can get to it right now. Like you can literally get on there and see by a couple of swipes, you can know if someone's interested in you and willing to have a conversation. The reason why I like the apps is because it's quicker. Now, you do it the other way. Now, I don't know if you're saying you just want, I don't know if you're the one that has the control in this situation. Like you say, get rid of her. Is she trying to get back with you and you're just trying to piece her out? Or did she piece you out and now you're trying to get back into a situation without using dating apps? You can do that, sure. But, you know, how much money do you want to spend going to a bar? Kind of rolling the dice, so you don't know who's going to show up. I can't tell you how many times I went to a fucking spot and it was a damn sausage party. You get what I'm saying? So like you just don't know. And like those situations can be really hard too, because if you try to approach a girl at a bar that's with a bunch of girls, like I'm talking about a group, I mean that is really tough by yourself, solo, unless you've got a couple wingmen to take care, to disperse the crowd, because you're always going to have them women in there's like, no, she's not interested. Like immediately trying to cut it off.
I'm that friend.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like that shit's fucking annoying.
I'm a fucking cock blocker.
But
this girls' night. Get out of here.
If I go into a group of 8 girls with 3 guys, we can disperse that pretty quickly, though. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a lot harder that way. But I mean, you could do that, man. You could go do what the stuff that we just talked about. But again, man, you're rolling the dice. You don't know if that's going to be a good night. Now all of a sudden it's Saturday. You're gonna go out 2 nights in a row. Like, sure, you could meet your future wife at Kroger's if you get lucky enough, or maybe at the bus stop. Like, those things happen all the time, but how long are you willing to wait? So it's really on you, though. Like, you could go out every night if you fucking wanted to. I've been there, but shit, I'm not willing to do that now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so spoiled because I live in a city, so there's always something to do here, whether it's a farmer's market or like some kind of event going on. There's always something to do to go meet somebody. If there's something specifically that, let's just say I liked bird watching. They have events for bird watching, so you can go and meet people that like the same thing that you do. And so I'm very lucky in that sense that I can meet very like-minded people that like what I like. But if you live in a small town, it is kind of harder. You're where you can meet men or where you can meet women is very limited, whether it's going to be a bar or a grocery store, or if you have a hiking trail on a hiking trail. Although if a man approached me on a hiking trail, I'd freak the fuck out. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very limited where they can have those types of interactions. So a grocery store, if you're talking about meeting somebody out in public, yes. Now for women, it is a known thing that if a woman wants to pick up on a guy, women, I'm curious to see if you know. You want to pick up a guy in a store, which store are you going to? I'm curious to see if they know this. So if you're a woman and you're single and you want to go see hot, attractive men, hoping that they're single, which store are you going to? Hardware, Home Depot. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Hardware,
I guess
Depot.
It's true. Yeah, I guess it's fucking true. Yeah.
That's where they're going.
Spank says Target. No, I'd want to go to Target if I'm looking for, I guess, a woman, maybe, because all you guys hang out there.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reason. I have no idea.
There was this huge trend saying that if men were looking for attractive women, to go to Target candle section, and then that's where you would find the woman within the candle.
They're all in Target, man. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
So I guess to sum it up, if you're a man trying to date and you're not very confident, you're not very good with your words and how to interact with a woman, you gotta just, and you're lonely, you want to date somebody, but you have a hard time talking to women. You need to find talking points to interact with them. So go to a grocery store, go to somewhere public where that interaction could happen. If you're at a bar and you see a beautiful woman there, say, man, and they're drinking something, that looks good. What is that? Who cares if it looks like a glass of water? Say, oh my God, and then laugh about it. Oh my God, I thought it was some kind of gin drink. You got to find these talking points and able to interact with them organically. Would you agree with that?
Yep. I mean, that sums it up. That's it.
Another thing too. This is when you're dating. Let's just say you got them to go on a date with you, and you guys are going to go on another date or the first date, whatever you are doing. Do not avoid having the sex talk. Don't avoid talking about what you're into and what you like, because I think sexual chemistry is such an important part into making a relationship work. The last thing you want to do is end up in the bedroom and realize you like this person. They have a great personality. They make you laugh, but they're terrible in bed.
How many times has that happened?
For me? That they're terrible in bed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, many times.
Many times. So how detrimental is that on their future with you?
Sex is a very big part of my life. Like what I consider a healthy relationship. I like being intimate with my partner in any form, any facet whatsoever. And so I communicate what I'm into very early on. And if it's something that they haven't liked, they're like, don't like, I note it if it's a deal breaker for me or not. And then same thing with them. If they tell me what they're into and it's just something that I'm not interested in trying, I let that be known. Hey, that's not really my thing. And that has happened also.
How early into the relationship you talking about?
Dating. Not even in a relationship, before we have sex.
Really?
Yes. There's nothing wrong with leading a horse to water. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to tell the person that I'm dating before we get to that point, I like this. I enjoy this. Because I want to make sure if we're making it to the bedroom, I'm getting fucked the way I want to be fucked. Period.
Damn. So he's never been like, man, that's kind of aggressive?
No.
I never. I didn't think so. I was just asking.
Never.
I just asking. Oh my god.
You don't have these talks with women about what you're into, or you just let them find out?
I don't. I really don't. I mean, I just go for it. So
you've never been in a situation with a woman where she's doing something that you were, let's just say she's into other stuff.
I don't think I've had anybody like, hey, I'm into like some backdoor stuff or anything like that. So yeah. I can't tell. Like, I have not had that come up. Even that thing that I was telling you guys about, the excessive teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was weird. And like, I was like, fuck, man, god dang. But I'm not stopping it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop it. Like,
so
what do I look like?
Oh my god.
I gotta endure that. I'm like, shit. All right, we'll figure this out later, man. So shit.
So in that situation, you're just gonna allow the teeth. You're not gonna be like, oh, like watch your teeth a little bit.
No, I didn't. No, I mean, this was like either high school or college. So I mean, I just wrote it off.
No.
I'm not gonna stop it. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop it. I'm gonna go. Like, there's only a few things that I can like recall. Here's one that's funny. This is a hoot right here. So I'm dating this girl in high school. Like, we're not together, we're dating. This is the first time we kiss, right? We kiss, and she's the worst kisser. But like, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I know that she's only been with one person before me. Like, I knew all this going into it. That was not the situation for me, but that was not something that bothered me or I even like brought up, right?
Sure.
So I kiss her. It was awkward. It was the worst kiss I ever had, right?
What made it worse? What made it bad?
So this is what she does when she kisses. Her mouth is just open. It's stagnant. It just stays open, and then she just moves her tongue. So like, her mouth just stayed open. Like, so it was just like
a circle?
It was around my lips, and her tongue was the only thing moving. So anyways, so I was like, fuck, man. All right, we got to work on that, right? So I'll figure that out later, right? She goes to school and tells all her friends that I'm the worst kisser she's ever had, when she's only kissed one dude before me.
That bitch.
So I got everyone coming to me. He's like, bro, she's over here clowning you. I'm like, what? Like, you got to be fucking shitting me. So the one time that I was like a good dude and I didn't like bring it up, and like,
sure,
it literally backfired on me. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So I thought that was funny, but they all knew better. They were like, what the fuck is she doing? But like, she was getting all her homegirls and all that stuff. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous, man.
He's such a bad kisser.
Yeah. Oh my God, man.
What makes a good kisser?
What makes a good kiss? That's an interesting topic too. I would say like being in sync. So like, it's not really a good kiss. It's not really a style of kiss. It's a style of kiss that matches how you kiss. So like, anybody that you can get up with that like kisses in sync with you, I think is a good kisser, right? So like,
yeah,
because obviously like, you take them two thought each other's was good fucking, like, they both thought they were good fucking kissers. So they were perfect for each other. So it's just, I think it's all perspective, really.
You ever practice with your hand when you were a kid?
No.
You never made out with your hand?
No. I remember having to do my first kiss, and I was nervous as fuck. And I was like, well, fuck, man, how do I even fucking practice? Like, I didn't fucking know. So like, I think what I did was watch a bunch of movies, and when the time come, I just tried to mimic that as much as I could. So
yeah,
I never had anybody besides that one girl fucking tell me that I was terrible. So I don't know, just movies. I never practiced on a pillow. I remember someone saying some bullshit like that, and like the hand thing. Like, how do you practice on a hand? That's weird.
No, it's like a thing like that, as a kid, like you practice on like the inside of your hand, like it's a thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry that we didn't grow up like you. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I've never heard that. Like, practice, everyone that said practiced on a pillow. Like, literally everyone.
I never practiced on a pillow. No.
Like, that's,
I
don't know.
Can we please get...
never heard of the hand thing, says Dana.
I practice with my sister. Very underrated. What is wrong with you?
Oh, my God.
Can we get a poll on the chat? Who has practiced kissing with their hand when they were younger?
I never heard that.
I'm curious to know who has practiced. I practice with my reflection because, so they kissed a mirror. Somebody kissed a mirror.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Because like you can at least see like what you're doing and how you're moving. That makes sense.
Okay, that does make sense. I agree. So somebody asked, like, how do you tell your partner if they're not a good kisser? So I've made out with somebody. They're not partner, but like made out with men that were not good kissers whatsoever. Just terrible, all over my face, like away from my lips. Kissed my eyebrows. Kissed like everything but my lips. So you have to control it. So you grab their face and you kind of like, I maneuvered like my fingers over their lips to like slow it down. So if I felt like their mouth was too big, I would put my hand to their mouth while I'm kissing them and like maneuver it to be the way that I wanted.
Oh my God, it's so awkward.
I did it.
I would not like that at all. I would not like that at all. Oh my God.
It worked out. Yeah.
That'd be so fucking weird, man. How many of you guys would feel fucking weird if like they just started like, what are you doing?
I wasn't going like this.
That's what you said.
No, I was just like slowing them down. Awkward as fuck. You know what? I was doing the Lord's work. Okay.
I bet they were like, oh man, she about to give 2 breaths.
What's wrong with you? Are you okay? Ashton says, I've done that too. B-Mac said, get your thumb out of my mouth.
That's weird, man. Like fucking, you could give 2 breaths right there. Shit.
Fuck, I just got clipped. Awesome. But we're gonna, whatever. It is what it is. So before we end
CPR, B-Mac.
Yeah, it basically was. Before we end, I did have 2 questions that I got DM'd to me. Again, if you have any dating questions that you want us to answer, go ahead and send myself or House questions in our DMs. They're open to all of you. You stay completely anonymous and we discuss them live on the air. So question I got was, my fiance and I have been together for almost 2.5 years. He moved from another state to be with me, and we have been on and off. But last time we broke up, he literally walked out the door when I got home from working 2 full-time jobs. He blamed me for not communicating enough. He begged me to come back and accept, but now a month later, nothing has changed. He goes out of town to see his family without me and won't message me for days. He no longer texts me during the day while we're both at work, but he tells me about his phone calls with his old female coworkers during his lunch break. He leaves for hours to go sit in the park because he needs a break from me because I have a bad attitude around him. I confronted him and he took no accountability for his behavior in our relationship, dying, but yet he says he loves me. Should I try to give him the benefit of the doubt and try to continue to make it work, or just give up already because it feels like I'm in this alone?
I mean, dude, like he's doing stuff. He's talking to other women. He's having conversations. Mm-hmm. He's gaslighting you. He's using those excuses to disappear because he's with somebody else or doing something he shouldn't be doing. Like, I don't know why you're hanging on to that situation at all. Yeah, I'm sure he loves you, but he doesn't love you enough. He doesn't care about you, right? So he loves the history that you guys have and the fire and ice thing that you guys got going. You keep finding each other because you guys been in each other's corner for so long. But that's just because of longevity and like comfortableness. Like, you're not the one. Like, you need to go preserve yourself and get the fuck out.
So a couple people pointed out that he said he was going to the park. I'll tell you this: I was single. This guy was single, but I remember parking at a park and giving a good old BJ in the parking lot. So he's not going to the park. I can tell you that right now. The
only park I'm going to is to go park my meat cycle in something. That's what I'm parking.
I'm just letting you know.
He ain't going to park.
He's not on the
nowhere.
park, fucking swinging on the swings, lonely, thinking about you and the what ifs. No, he's putting it somewhere. He's putting it somewhere. Porking at the park. That is what is happening. Porking at the park.
He ain't going to no fucking. I'm parking that meat cycle somewhere.
Okay.
I'm parking that meat cycle in a meat garage, motherfucker.
That's a t-shirt. Someone clip that for me, please. So I remember. Okay, next question. Can someone clip that for me? Okay, next question. I fell for my best friend and we talk about always being in each other's lives, and we just started talking about getting together, and now his ex is trying to make things work. It's hard to tell him don't do it because I know he still cares for her. So should I just let him go, or how do I do this? I don't want to lose him either as a friend.
You go.
So two friends who obviously care about each other. You have a friendship. I'm assuming it hasn't been sexual, that you're just friends. It goes on par of what you've said. There's always somebody in a male and female relationship where one person has feelings, and it seems like it's her. Even though he's telling her he does too, she's leading it, but he's still in love with his ex. You were first and foremost his friend, and so you need to act accordingly. And by acting accordingly, you give him the honest advice. If this relationship that he was in was not good for him, it was toxic, whatever it was, remind him of those situations. Don't tell him about you being with him and what you can do for him. Remind him of what the relationship was like instead of focusing on what the relationship could be. And then in the end, if he chooses her as his friend, you are there to support him. If he doesn't, give him the space that he needs while supporting him while he gets over the relationship.
I don't know why she would want to. So she wants to be in a relationship with him.
With him, yeah.
Like, why? She was already second.
Mm-hmm.
And then she continues to be second. Like, she'll always be second in his life. Like, why would you want to? Why? I don't know. That's not a good situation that she should be putting herself in at all.
So if this were me and I had a best friend that we, decided that we liked each other and we wanted to take to the next step, and then my best friend told me that, oh, my ex is back in my life again and she wants me back and I'm thinking about being back with her, I would never look at that person romantically again, because my best friend knows me. He knows, or her, or
just be friends.
Yeah, they know everything about you. They know your trauma. Like, if they're a best friend, they know all of these triggers for you. And if they are choosing to put you through something similar of what you've gone through before, that's how they're going to treat you in a relationship. Always second.
And he doesn't like you like that. Yeah, you're together, you're thinking about it, stuff, like, because you're good company. You've been comfortable. Like, he enjoys you, like, he likes you like that, and he was probably willing to see where it goes, but you're not getting out of that friend zone.
No,
like,
you're not.
You're not.
Yeah. So hopefully she watched this and she heard that advice. I thought we could definitely hit more on the dating tips. I think we can give them some more dating tips, especially for the females in dating. Again,
yeah, because we didn't cover that side. Like, how do you guys handle all that stuff? But let's do that on the next one. Then.
Yeah, so we are moving to Fridays. Every Friday is when we will be doing this podcast at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. All of our videos are posted on YouTube and Spotify for if you just want to listen. And again, if you have any questions, make sure you send us those DMs and we will answer them live on air. Thanks for being here, House.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Adios. Bye.